Welcome to the Sky Commander Flight Brief. It's your mission-ready podcast for drone pilot training and aerial insights across Canada.
From Transport Canada rules to real-world drone ops, we break it down, take you higher, and help you earn your wings. Because here at skycommander.ca, we don't just fly.
It hints there's more to it. It's a masterclass, a deeper level, maybe a philosophy or a community focus, perhaps.
It's definitely intriguing, sets them apart from just, a basic tips show. Skycommander.ca is the obvious next step. Precisely. If you're thinking about flying a drone in Canada, boom, this content is aimed right at you.
Powered by skycommander.ca.
The elite podcast for Canada's drone pilot. Okay, let's get started. You know that subtle hum you sometimes hear overhead? That faint, almost imperceptible sound?
Mm-hmm.
That's the sound of precision, really.
Yeah.
Of countless aircraft moving safely through our skies, all guided by unseen hands. It's truly a marvel of coordination.
It really is like a complex ballet happening up there.
Thousands of times a day. But what if those aircraft aren't always, what you expect? What if one of them is actually, a drone?
Yeah, that's the shift we're seeing, isn't it?
Exactly. Drones, or, more formally, remotely piloted aircraft systems, RPAS, they're not just toys in a park anymore.
Far from it. They're becoming vital players in that complex aerial ballet.
Used for everything. Infrastructure inspection, agriculture, search and rescue, the list goes on.
Absolutely.
And today on the Deep Dive, we're unpacking exactly how these RPAS, and importantly their operators, integrate into this really intricate, highly regulated world of air traffic control, or ATC.
It's a huge topic.
Yeah.
And critically important.
Our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. We're taking this stack of sources you've provided, articles, research, expert notes, all that good stuff, and we're going to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge.
Giving you the shortcuts, basically.
Exactly. A comprehensive shortcut to being well-informed about this, absolutely crucial aspect of modern aviation. Because as drone tech keeps racing ahead and our skies get busier,
Which they are, undeniably.
Understanding airspace rules, communication protocols, the sheer responsibility of operating an RPAS.
Yeah.
It's not just for commercial pilots or, dedicated hobbyists anymore.
No, it's really about everyone being aware of this fundamental shift in our shared airspace, how we all keep it safe together.
Right. So what's the journey look like for this deep dive?
Well, we're going to guide you through it. We'll start with the fundamentals, really peeling back the layers on controlled airspace, defining ATC's role for RPAS operators clearly.
The basics first.
Then we'll get into the digital tools like NAV drone that make this integration actually work. And we'll tackle some surprisingly common misconceptions, stuff that can ground your operations before they even start.
Oh, I bet there are a few of those.
Definitely. From there, we'll move into the real language of the sky, the precise, internationally recognized communication techniques. They're absolutely essential.
Speaking the lingo.
Exactly. And finally, we'll navigate through some advanced real-world scenarios. Explore the critical judgment calls RPAS pilots face every day. And even peek into the future of drone integration. Because let's face it, the sky is definitely not the limit anymore.
Good one.
By the end of this, you'll really understand how RPAS operators, even without a physical cockpit, are becoming vital, professional members of the aviation community. Learning that language, those protocols that keep our skies safe and orderly for everyone.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting with those foundational concepts. Because before you even think about putting a drone up, especially for commercial stuff or more advanced operations, you really need to understand the basic players and the rules of the game.
Absolutely essential.
So what is controlled airspace and what's air traffic control's role in it?
Right. So at the heart of all safe flying is air traffic control, ATC. These are the highly trained professionals, often unseen, working from control towers or radar rooms.
The folks keeping everyone safe.
Precisely. They meticulously coordinate the movement of aircraft. Their main job, their regulatory role, is twofold. Ensure safe separation between all aircraft and keep the traffic flowing efficiently.
So safety and efficiency.
Exactly. Think of them not just as like traffic cops for the sky, but maybe more like the conductor of this vast invisible symphony.
Oh, I like that.
Making sure every instrument, every plane, every drone now plays in perfect harmony without, crashing into each other.
Right.
And for an RPAS operator, it's crucial to get this. They are your best ally. They're not some authority figure to be scared of. Their entire purpose is safety, yours and everyone else's.
That's a really important mindset shift for maybe some operators. They're there to help.
100%.
And when we talk about where ATC mainly operates, that's this controlled airspace. What defines that? It's not just anywhere, right?
No, not at all. It's a precisely defined three-dimensional volume of airspace. Think of it in 3D. And within these defined dimensions, ATC services are provided.
Okay.
And here's the kicker. Entry into this space requires explicit clearance. You can't just wander in.
Like a gated community in the sky.
That's a great analogy. You need to be on the list or get explicitly invited in by ATC. Within controlled airspace, ATC is firmly in charge.
Yeah.
You must ask permission and you must follow their instructions to the letter.
No wiggle room.
No wiggle room. And this is where most of the more complex RPAS operations happen, so understanding these boundaries is, well, paramount. Super important. We're usually talking Class C, Class D, and certain Class E areas, typically around airports.
Gotcha. So you need that permission, that clearance. What exactly is an ATC clearance or instruction?
Good question. Regulatorily speaking, it's an authorization for a pilot. And yes, that includes you as an RPUSPIC to proceed under certain specified conditions.
Okay, conditions being key.
Absolutely. In simpler terms, it's ATC giving you the official green light. It says go, but only like this, under these conditions.
So, very specific.
Very specific. Think of it like getting a lane change approved by a traffic cop during rush hour. They don't just wave you on, they tell you exactly when and how. ATC gives you precise parameters, altitude, heading, maybe a time limit, and you are legally obligated to stick to those.
And if you don't?
Deviating from a clearance, even a little bit, can have really serious safety consequences, and regulatory ones too. Fines, losing your certificate, potentially causing an incident. It's serious business.
Right. And for all this precision and coordination to happen in real time, you need communication, two-way communication.
Critical, absolutely critical. It means both the pilot, and again, that's the RPAS operator in our context, and ATC can hear and speak to each other in real time, usually via radio.
Not just shouting into the void.
No. It's a dynamic call and response system, like a walkie-talkie chat, but with much higher stakes and very specific language. It ensures messages aren't just sent, but received, fully understood, and acknowledged by both sides.
So ATC knows you got the message and you know they heard you.
Exactly. This real-time interaction is what allows ATC to manage safety dynamically, to adapt to changing conditions, weather, unexpected traffic, and issue new instructions as needed. It's the lifeblood of air traffic management.
Okay, so those are the fundamentals. Now let's talk specifically about folks holding an Advanced RPAS certificate here in Canada. There are some absolute must-knows for them, right? Things that are totally non-optional.
Yes, absolutely. If you hold that advanced certificate, it signifies a certain level of competence and responsibility. And if you're planning to fly in Class C, Class D, or certain Class E airspace, again, typically around busier airports.
The zones we just talked about.
Right. Coordinating with ATC isn't just a nice idea or a best practice. It's a mandatory legal requirement, period. Getting that advanced RPAS certificate is a privilege, and it comes with really high expectations. You're operating in shared airspace alongside passenger jets, medevac helicopters.
Serious stuff.
Very serious. You're expected to act like the professional aviator that certificate says you are.
So if you're going to operate in that environment, what's in the toolkit? What do you absolutely need beyond the drone itself?
Good question. You need the right tools for the job. The primary digital gateway, your first stop for requesting controlled airspace access, is NAV Drone. That's the NAV Canada system.
We'll dive deeper into NAV drones soon, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. But it's not just NAV Drone. You also must consult NOTAM's notices to airmen and the Designated Airspace Handbook, the DAH.
What are those telling you?
They contain crucial, often temporary information, restrictions, hazards, procedural changes, things that might not be on the permanent charts but could seriously affect your flight today. Maybe a crane is up near your flight path, or there's a temporary flight restriction for an air show.
Stuff you absolutely need to know before you fly.
Essential pre-flight checks. And then there are the visual navigation charts, the VNCs. These are your detailed maps of the sky.
More than just a map, though, right? You mentioned 3D earlier.
Exactly. VNCs are crucial for understanding the three-dimensional complexity of airspace classifications. They show you the boundaries, sure, but also the vertical limits, those shelves and stepped airspace volumes.
Explain those shelves a bit more. That sounds tricky.
It can be. Imagine looking at a VNC around an airport. The controlled airspace, say Class C, might go right down to the surface, close to the airport, but maybe 5 miles out, The chart shows the floor of that Class C airspace starting at, say, 1,500 feet above the ground.
So below 1,500 feet, it's different airspace.
Exactly. Below that shelf, it might be uncontrolled Class G airspace. If you're planning an RPAS flight out there at, say, 300 feet, you need to know precisely where that shelf starts. If you drift under it without realizing, you could accidentally enter controlled airspace without clearance.
Ah, I see. So misreading the chart vertically could get you into trouble.
Big trouble. VNCs also show you the correct radio frequencies for contacting ATC in different sectors. Understanding how to read these charts in 3D is absolutely vital for staying legal and safe.
Okay, tools covered. What about the language itself? You mentioned specific phraseology.
Yes, ATC phraseology. This isn't just about sounding professional, though that helps. It's about precise, unambiguous communication based on internationally agreed ICAO standards.
ICAO.
International Civil Aviation Organization. They set the global standards. Every word, every phrase has a specific defined meaning to avoid confusion, especially between pilots and controllers who might have different native languages or accents.
So it's a universal language for aviation.
Pretty much. You need to know the basics. Cleared for operation, hold position, proceed as requested. Simple terms, but you have to use them correctly.
And how does ATC view the RPAS operator using this language?
This is a crucial point, something we'll keep coming back to. When you're talking to ATC as an RPAS operator, you were treated as the pilot in command. Same status, same expectations as the pilot of a manned aircraft.
Wow, okay.
Which means you need to speak clearly, confidently, and always acknowledge instructions verbally so they know you've understood.
There's a good memory hook for this.
Yeah.
Same sky, same rules, same responsibility.
Perfect. And your clear, concise communication builds immediate trust. It tells ATC you're a trained aviator, predictable, reliable. Not just someone messing around with a toy, it demonstrates competence.
And the flip side, what if you don't follow these rules? If you don't coordinate?
The consequences are significant, and this often surprises new operators. Failing to coordinate with ATC in controlled airspace, even if your drone never leaves the ground, is a serious regulatory violation.
Oh, wait, even if you don't fly?
Yes. If Transport Canada finds out you planned an operation in controlled airspace without getting the required authorization beforehand, that alone can lead to penalties. They do audits.
So the responsibility starts way before you power up the drone.
Absolutely. You must verify the airspace class and get that permission before you even finalize your flight plan, let alone think about launching. Ignoring these rules isn't just an oversight, it's a serious breach of aviation safety protocol. Fines, suspension of your Advanced RPAS certificate. It's not worth the risk.
Okay, that really underscores the importance of doing it right. Which leads us perfectly into NAV drone. You called it the digital doorbell to controlled airspace. Let's ring that bell.
Right. NAV drone is the official digital system in Canada, managed by NAV Canada, for requesting authorization to SAW your RPS in controlled airspace.
So how does it work? What's the process?
You submit a detailed mission plan through their online portal or app. It asks for everything. The specific date and time window you want to fly.
Gotta be precise.
Extremely. The exact location, often using latitude and longitude coordinates, the maximum altitude you intend to fly, usually specified as AGL above ground level,
Okay.
details about your aircraft make, model, weight, and importantly, your contingency procedures.
Yeah.
What happens if you lose the link? What's your return to home, RTH, altitude and procedure?
So you have to have thought through the what ifs.
You absolutely do. Once you submit all that, you wait for explicit digital approval. And this is key. It's not instantaneous. You don't just submit and fly.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a potential pitfall right there. Which brings us to common misconceptions about NAV drone. I bet the instant approval idea is one.
It's a huge one.
Yeah.
Many people think, oh, I've got my advanced certificate. NAV drone approval will be automatic or at least super fast. Nope. Debunk that right now.
Not the case.
It's never instant or guaranteed. You must apply and then wait for that explicit digital authorization to come through. There's no fast pass. Sometimes, depending on the complexity or the airspace busyness, it can take hours, maybe even days.
Yeah.
You need to plan ahead.
Good advice. What's another common mistake?
Thinking that getting a quick verbal okay from someone at the tower is good enough. Oh, I called ATC and they said it sounded fine.
Yeah. That doesn't work.
Absolutely not. Verbal approval from an ATC controller is not a legal substitute for the formal, documented NAV drone clearance. That digital record is your proof of authorization.
So even if a controller sounds encouraging on the phone.
Doesn't matter legally. Silence is also not consent. If you haven't received that specific approval through the NAV drone system, you are not cleared to fly. Period. This distinction is critical for staying compliant.
Wow, okay, so the digital paper trail is everything.
What?
What about the details in the application itself? Can small errors cause big headaches?
They absolutely can. Incomplete requests are a common issue. Leaving fields blank, for example. Let's say you forget to put in your requested altitude.
Yeah.
The system might default that field to, say, 0 feet AGL. And if you then get an approval that says, cleared to operate at 0 feet AGL, that's what you're legally authorized for. Even if you meant to fly at 300 feet, it's your responsibility as the pilot in command to double-check, triple-check that digital approval when it comes through. Catch those errors before you fly.
So read the approver carefully, don't just glance at it.
Critically important. Another trap is overlapping jurisdictions. Let's say you get NAV drone approval to fly in Class C airspace near an airport.
Okay.
But your flight area also happens to overlap with a Class F restricted airspace. Maybe it's a military operations area or a national park with flight restrictions.
Right.
Your NAV drone approval for the Class C does not automatically grant you permission for the Class F restricted zone. Those require separate, specific permission from whoever controls that Class F airspace. You might need dual authorization.
Okay. So you need to check for all applicable airspace types.
You do. The most restrictive rule always applies.
Speaking of rules, you mentioned a regulatory change coming for Class E airspace. That sounds like something a lot of operators need to be aware of.
Yes, this is a really important shift coming into effect with SOR 2025-70. Basically, starting in 2025, if you're operating an RPAS near Class E airspace, you'll need coordination if you plan to fly above 200 feet AGL.
Even if you're outside a specific airport zone.
Exactly. Even if you're technically outside the defined airport control zone or tower area, it affects operations in Class E airspace more broadly.
There's a memorable line for this. As of 2025, even the easy airspace asks for a heads up.
That sums it up perfectly. The reason behind it is to close a regulatory gray area. Previously, you could often fly in Class E below its official floor altitude without needing formal coordination.
Right.
But low-flying manned aircraft, think crop dusters, helicopters, planes flying under instrument flight rules on approach or departure, sometimes miles from the airport, might also be using that airspace. This change increases awareness and safety for everyone.
So it's about better integration and deconfliction.
Precisely. So imagine you're doing a job, maybe mapping a power line corridor at 250 feet AGL. If that corridor runs through Class E airspace, even if there's no airport nearby, under the new rules, you will need NAV drone authorization.
Okay, that's a significant change for operations that might have been simpler before.
It is. It requires more planning, but ultimately enhances safety in that shared lower-level airspace.
Now let's get practical. What about delays, denials, those strict time windows NAV drone gives you? Say you get approval for 6:00 p.m. to 7 thunderstorm p.m., but a sudden thunderstorm pops up. It clears by 7:15 p.m. Can you launch then?
The classic scenario. And it really tests an operator's discipline. The answer is crystal clear. No, you must not launch.
Even if the weather is perfect at 7:15?
It doesn't matter. Your NAV drone approval is only valid for the exact time window you applied for and were granted. 6:00 p.m. to 7:00 p.m. means just that. Flying even 5 minutes outside that window makes your operation unauthorized. Illegal.
So what do you do?
You are legally required to resubmit your request via NAV drone for a new time window. Maybe 7:03 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. or whenever works. You need a new valid authorization.
Okay. Strict adherence to the clock. What if you submit a request and your flight time arrives, but you just haven't heard back? No approval, no denial, just silence.
Another common frustration. But the rule is the same. You must not fly. Silence is never consent in aviation. No explicit approval means no flight.
What are your options then?
You can try contacting NAV drone support. They have a dedicated contact method for inquiries. See if there's a holdup or if they need more info. Or the more common and practical approach is simply to reschedule your operation for later or another day.
The key takeaway: no explicit approval, no flight, no ambiguity.
Exactly. And sometimes even with perfect planning, your request might just be denied.
Why would that happen?
Various legitimate aviation safety reasons. Maybe your proposed flight area is too close to a busy arrival or departure corridor for manned aircraft. Maybe there's a temporary flight restriction, a TFR, in fact, VIP visiting, major incident, wildfire.
Things you might not have known about when you planned.
Right. Or maybe there's just exceptionally heavy air traffic scheduled, or a special event like an air show. ATC's job is to manage the overall safety and flow, and sometimes that means saying no to an RPAS operation.
So what's your plan B if you get denied?
You need one. It might mean rescheduling for a different day or time. It might mean relocating your operation to a different area, maybe to uncontrolled Class G airspace, if your mission allows that flexibility, or if your operation is particularly complex, unique, or requires flying outside standard rules, maybe higher altitude, closer to people. You might need to apply for a special flight operations certificate, an SFOC, directly from Transport Canada. That's a whole different process for non-standard ops.
Okay. The key is understanding denial is possible, and it's about safety, not just inconvenience.
That's the right attitude. It's all risk management.
All right, we've navigated the digital world of NAV drone. Now let's talk about actually talking the communication side, speaking the sky's language. Why does this specific phraseology matter so much for an RPAS operator? Why are you treated like a pilot?
It goes back to universal safety and predictability. Every standard phrase used in ATC communication is internationally agreed upon by ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization.
We mentioned ICAO earlier.
Right. This isn't just tradition. It ensures absolute clarity and precision across borders. There'll be different types of aircraft, regardless of accents or native languages. When you use standard phraseology correctly, ATC knows exactly what you mean, and you know exactly what they mean.
Reduces the chance of misunderstanding.
Massively. And your clear, concise communication, using that standard language, it instantly builds confidence. It tells ATC you're a trained aviator, someone predictable and safe, not, a random person flying a drone near their airport.
It signals professionalism.
It signals competence and reliability under pressure. I heard about an incident, anonymized of course, where a new RPAS operator got flustered during a sudden wind shift near an airport. The radio call was jumbled. Unclear.
Yeah.
ATC's reaction. They immediately issued a ground stop for all RPAS operations in the area. Not because the drone did anything wrong airspace-wise, but because the lack of clear communication created an unpredictable risk in their minds.
Wow. So how you sound directly impacts how ATC perceives the risk.
Absolutely. Contrast that with a calm, precise call, even in an emergency like a lost link. Springbank Tower, Sky Commander RPAS lost link. Aircraft executing RTH will confirm once landed. Even under stress, that tells ATC you're in control, you have a plan, you know the procedure. It allows them to manage their airspace confidently around your situation.
That's a powerful insight. Your voice is your immediate safety profile.
Couldn't have said it better.
And here's a fun fact. The word Roger comes from the old WWII phonetic alphabet for R, meaning received.
That's right.
And if ATC asks you to say again, that's the phrase. You never say repeat. Why? Because apparently back in the day, repeat over the radio in artillery zones meant fire again.
Exactly. Shows you why precision matters so much. Lives could literally depend on using the right word.
Mind-blowing. Okay, let's get specific. Walk us through some common ATC phrases and the ideal RPAS style response. What if ATC says, Sky Commander RPAS, stand by?
Stand by means they're busy, probably with higher priority traffic. Don't talk, just wait. Your correct response is simply, standing by, Sky Commander RPAS. Short, confirms you heard, shows you'll wait patiently.
Okay. What about Sky Commander RPAS, say, position?
They want to know exactly where you are. If you're on the ground preparing, you'd say, on the ground at your specific location, e.g. the South Maintenance Yard, ready to launch. If you're airborne, over latitude, longitude, or a very clear landmark like the water tower, 150 feet AGL. Be precise.
Makes sense. And Sky Commander RPAS, hold position. That sounds important.
Extremely. That's an immediate, unequivocal instruction. Stop all movement. Hover in place if airborne. Stay put if on the ground. Your response must be immediate and clear. Holding position, Sky Commander RPAS.
Okay. Acknowledge and comply instantly. What about the good news? Getting the actual, go ahead.
That's when you'll hear something like, Sky Commander RPAS cleared for operation as requested. This means you're good to go. Following the plan you submitted via NAV drone, the location, altitude, time, everything.
And your response?
Your precise reply should be, cleared as requested, Sky Commander RPAS, commencing operation. This confirms you understood the clearance and are starting your flight.
What if they warn you about other planes? Sky Commander RPAS, traffic in the area.
That's an advisory. They're telling you there's other air traffic nearby that you need to be aware of. Keep your eyes peeled. Make sure your visual observers are scanning. Your response shows you're aware. Looking for traffic, Sky Commander RPAS, or maybe copy traffic, will maintain VLOS if you're operating visual line of sight.
Got it. And if they just say Sky Commander RPAS, acknowledge.
That means they want you to repeat back their last instruction exactly as they gave it. It's a confirmation check. If they just told you, descend to 100 feet, and then say acknowledge, you must reply, descend to 100 feet, Sky Commander RPAS. Verbatim readback.
That readback seems crucial for avoiding mistakes.
It is absolutely fundamental in aviation comms.
Are there other key terms, like how to say yes or no properly?
Yes. Readback is what ATC says to you when they want you to repeat an instruction.
Oh,
Say again is what you say if you didn't understand ATC clearly. Never use repeat.
okay.
For no, the standard unambiguous term is negative. Avoid slang like nope or nah. For yes, it's affirmative. It cuts through radio static better than just yes.
Affirmative and negative. Got it.
Wilco is short for will comply. It means I received your instruction and I will carry it out. Use it when appropriate. Roger simply means I've received and understood your last transmission. It does not mean yes or I will comply. So don't use Roger if they ask you to do something requiring confirmation.
Subtle but important difference between Roger and Wilco.
Very. And finally, the big one, unutable. This means you cannot comply with an instruction.
Yeah.
Maybe it's unsafe. Maybe your equipment has limitations. You always follow unutable with a brief reason why. We'll talk more about unutable later. It's critical.
Okay. And a pro tip you mentioned, always repeat clearances verbatim. No summarizing, no paraphrasing.
Exactly. ATC expects precision. Give it to them.
This precision really feeds into those pro-level communication tips. You said confidence in comms translates to safety in ATC's mind.
Spot on. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. ATC listens to your tone, your rhythm. Are you clear, deliberate, brief, precise, or hesitant, rambling, full of ums and urs?
You want to sound like you know what you're doing.
Exactly. Use a measured pace. Don't rush. Avoid filler words. I think, instead of, I guess we're probably done now. Say, Sky Commander RPAS, operation complete, direct, professional, unambiguous.
Be the calm in the comms, as you said, like ATC controllers themselves.
Right. They're often trained for that flat, calm tone. It's part of Cockpit Resource Management, CRM. Studies show calm voices reduce errors, increase clarity, especially under stress. So adopt that professional calm.
Okay, so be calm, be clear, but how do you prepare without sounding like a robot reading a script?
Practice. Know the standard call structure so well it becomes second nature, muscle memory. You don't want to be fumbling for words when ATC calls you.
What's that standard structure again for an initial call?
Think 5 points for RPAS. 1, who you're calling in your call sign, Springbank Tower, Sky Commander RPS. 2, your location. On the ground, east threshold, runway 286. 3, your request intention. Requesting clearance to operate 1 kilogram multi-rotor, 100 feet AGL VLOS. 4, your time frame, from 1830 Zulu to 1900 Zulu. 5, reference, optional but good. Confirming NAV drone approval XYZ issued.
That covers all the key info ATC needs right away.
Exactly. It matches their workflow. And when they reply, mirror their concise style. If they give a simple instruction, give a simple, clear readback or acknowledgement. No extra chat. Keep it tight.
What about when things go wrong? You need a phrase ready for emergencies.
Absolute critical.
Yeah.
Pre-plan your emergency calls. If something happens, low battery forcing an early landing, sudden loss of control link, airspace incursion by someone else, having a clear rehearsed phrase helps you stay professional under extreme stress.
Like what?
Maybe. Sky Commander RPAS initiating immediate return to home due to brief reason, critical battery link instability, unexpected traffic, terminating mission. Will report once safely on the ground. It shows you're taking immediate responsible action.
Having that practice sounds invaluable.
It is. And just like man pilots do a pre-flight brief, do one yourself, even if flying solo. Just a quick 20-second mental run-through. Operation today, 100-foot AGL, Class C VLS, Navi drone approved, RTH set to 150 feet, weather good, radio on frequency X, report complete to ATC. It primes your brain.
And using your call sign consistently.
Every single time you transmit. It's your identity on the frequency. Sky Commander RPAS holding position, not we're holding. It avoids confusion, builds professionalism.
How can people practice this?
Practice offline. Use a handheld radio on an unused frequency or with antenna removed for testing, or just your phone's voice recorder. Record yourself making standard calls, initial request, position report, reporting complete, maybe even a practice emergency call.
And listen back.
Yes. Critically listen. How's your speed, tone, clarity? Are you using filler words? Just 5 minutes of practice can make a huge difference in your confidence and confidence when you're live with ATC. Remember, they're trusting you with shared airspace. Sound like someone they can trust.
Be the resource, not the risk.
That's the goal.
Okay, this leads to a really important distinction that you said often trips people up. The difference between authorization and clearance. They sound similar, but they're not.
Not at all, and getting this wrong can lead to serious violations. Authorization is the pre-flight permission you get, typically via an AV drone. It's your ticket to enter the controlled airspace for a specific operation during a specific time. It's your legal right to be planned to be there.
Okay, that's the NAV drone approval we talked about.
It's exactly. Clearance, on the other hand, is a real-time directive issued by ATC while you are flying or just out to fly. It's an instruction for immediate action.
Like hold position or descend now.
Precisely. Why does this matter so much? Because you can have a perfectly valid NAV drone authorization for your flight plan. But if, mid-flight, ATC gives you an instruction or clearance, Sky Commander RPAS, hold position immediately due to incoming helicopter, you must obey that clearance instantly.
Even if it interrupts your authorized plan.
Absolutely. The real-time ATC clearance or instruction always overrides your pre-flight authorization. ATC is managing the dynamic situation right now. Your pre-approval doesn't give you immunity from following their current instructions. Clearance trumps authorization in real time.
That's a critical distinction for safety and compliance. Authorization gets you in the door. Clearance tells you what to do once you're inside, moment by moment.
Perfect way to put it.
Okay, we've laid the groundwork, covered the digital tools, the language. Now let's get into some more advanced territory. Navigating the unexpected. Those scenarios that really test your judgment as a pilot in command. What about the nightmare scenario? Lost link in controlled airspace.
Yeah, that's definitely high on the stress list, but it's something you absolutely must have a plan for, documented in your procedures, and ideally in your NAV drone submission.
So what's the procedure?
If you lose that control link, the first step is to allow your pre-programmed failsafe to execute. Usually that's return to home, RTH. Your drone should automatically start flying back to its designated landing spot based on how you configured it.
Okay, let the tech do its thing, then what?
Then, crucially, you immediately notify ATC. Get on the radio and state clearly, Springbank Tower, Sky Commander RPAS lost link. Aircraft is executing pre-programmed return to home to state your landing type coordinates. We'll advise once landed and secured.
Tell them what's happening and what the drone should be doing.
Exactly. It informs them of the situation, reassures them there's a plan, and allows them to manage other traffic around your potentially uncommanded drone. Professionalism and safety communication are key here. And be prepared to file an incident report later if required.
What if it's not the control link, but your radio fails? You can fly the drone, but you can't talk to ATC, or maybe they can't hear you.
Another high-stress one. Your priority immediately becomes safe recovery of the aircraft and clearing the controlled airspace. Initiate your RTH or a controlled descent to your planned landing zone immediately.
Get out of the way safely.
Yes. If you have prearranged alternate communication, maybe a direct phone number for the tower you discussed beforehand, which is sometimes done for complex ops, use it as soon as practical. But the first priority is flying the aircraft safely out of conflict.
And once you land?
The moment you're safely down, find a way to contact ATC, phone, another radio, and let them know you experienced comms failure, you've landed, and your operation is terminated until the issue is fixed. Again, it shows responsibility.
What if the drone doesn't RTH, but maybe its fail-safe is an automatic landing right where it is, maybe due to severe interference?
Similar principle. Fly monitor the aircraft's autonomous action and communicate the specific event to ATC as soon as possible. Sky Commander RPAS experiencing severe interference, aircraft initiating auto land at current position, give location. Monitoring descent, will advise when secure. Emphasize protecting surrounding aircraft. All these procedures need to align with what you planned and submitted.
Right, it all comes back to that pre-planning. What about external factors? You're flying your mission, everything's fine, then you visually spot a low-flying plane or helicopter that ATC hasn't mentioned.
See and avoid is paramount. Your immediate action. Start a safe descent or initiate RTH while keeping eyes on both your drone and the other aircraft. Don't wait for ATC to tell you.
Be proactive.
Absolutely. Then get on the radio and proactively inform ATC. Springbank Tower, Sky Commander RPAS descending to 50 feet AGL due to unannounced helicopter traffic, observed location direction. Maintaining VLOS. Advise when clear.
So you take action first, then tell them.
Yes. You're demonstrating responsibility for collision avoidance. Especially if it's an emergency medical helicopter, HEMS, they get absolute priority and can fly unpredictable paths. You get down and out of the way immediately, then notify ATC. Yielding to all manned aircraft is a fundamental rule.
What about non-aviation interference? Say, a mobile TV crew sets up nearby and suddenly their broadcast signal starts interfering with your drone's control link.
That's a weird one, but possible. Your response is still driven by safety. Declare it to ATC. Sky Commander RPAS, experiencing localized radio interference, maintaining positive control but initiating RTH as a precaution, will report once landed. This tells them you've encountered an issue, you're managing it safely, and removing your drone from the airspace proactively.
Okay. What if someone on the ground, maybe a concerned citizen, calls ATC to complain about your drone, even if you're flying legally? ATC then calls you. How do you handle that?
Calmly and professionally. Acknowledge ATC's call. State your precise current location and altitude. Confirm you are operating strictly within the parameters of your NAV drone authorization. For example, Roger Tower, Sky Commander RPAS confirms position over landmark, 120 feet AGL, operating per NAV drone approval XYZ. Avoid getting defensive. Stick to the facts. Maintain professionalism, even under that social pressure.
Good advice. And crew coordination. What if your visual observer, VO, suddenly calls out a hazard? Maybe a large bird getting too close, or someone wandering into your takeoff landing zone.
That tests your crew resource management, CRM. First, acknowledge your VO clearly. Copy VO observing bird. Assess the risk immediately. If it's a genuine threat, begin a safe maneuver, descend, hold position, move away laterally.
And tell ATC.
If the hazard poses a risk to other air traffic, like a large flock of birds, yes, notify ATC. Sky Commander RPAS maneuvering to avoid a flock of geese, descending temporarily. If it's someone walking into your safety zone on the ground, you land immediately and inform ATC you're terminating the operation due to ground safety issues if necessary. It's about quick assessment, clear internal crew comms, and informing ATC appropriately.
Okay, let's tackle the really complex airspace stuff. Overlaps. Class F airspace, which can be advisory or restricted, often bumps up against or lies within controlled airspace. How does that work?
This is where meticulous chart study during pre-planning is absolutely non-negotiable. Class F restricted airspace is the big one. Think military firing ranges, highly sensitive areas. You need specific, separate, written permission from the agency that controls that Class F zone.
Even if you already have ATC clearance for the Class C or D airspace, it overlaps.
Yes. Class F restricted takes precedence. Your NAV drone approval for the underlying Class CD does not cover the Class F restricted. You need both permissions if your flight enters both airspaces vertically or horizontally. No exceptions.
What about Class F advisory?
Advisory means just that proceed with extreme caution. ATC might not be providing separation services within that specific advisory area. You're largely on your own for see and avoid. So heightened vigilance is key. Coordinate with ATC for the controlled portion, but be extra careful in the advisory zone.
Okay, so restricted needs specific permission. Advisory needs extreme caution. What if your flight path takes you through different classes? Start in uncontrolled Class G, climb into controlled Class E.
That requires constant situational awareness. You need to know exactly where those invisible boundaries are, both laterally and vertically. Your NAV drone authorization will typically cover the portion of your flight within controlled airspace, Class C in this case.
So you need clearance before entering the Class C portion.
Correct. And remember, flying below the floor of Class E generally doesn't require NAV drone authorization under current standard rules. Though check the 2025 changes we discussed. But you still need to be incredibly vigilant. Check NOTAMs, watch for traffic, especially near airports where planes might be descending below the Class E floor on approach. It's all about understanding that 3D airspace picture from your VNCs, those shelves, the stepped boundaries. It's not flat.
Definitely not flat. Now let's revisit unablable. You said it's aviation's safest word. Why is it so important, and when should an RPS pilot use it?
Because the pilot in command is ultimately legally responsible for the safe outcome of the flight. Full stop. If ATC issues you an instruction or clearance that you, based on your knowledge of your aircraft, the conditions, your SOPs, or the immediate situation believe would be unsafe, you must refuse it.
So you can actually say no to ATC.
You must say no if safety dictates it. The correct way is to say, unable Sky Commander RPAS, and then immediately follow with a concise reason. For example, unable climb to 400 feet, Sky Commander RPAS, maximum operating altitude and current winds is 300 feet per SOP. Or, unable proceed direct to waypoint Charlie, Sky Commander RPAS, requires flight over congested area below safe altitude.
So state you're unable and give the safety reason.
Exactly. It's not being difficult, it's being professional and responsible. ATC controllers are trained to expect and respect an unable call when it's justified by safety. They'd rather you speak up than comply with something unsafe.
What happens if you don't follow an instruction and it wasn't for a legitimate safety reason?
Then you're looking at potentially serious consequences. regulatory action, fines, certificate suspension or revocation, and of course the potential risk of causing an incident or collision if you just ignore a directive. Unable is your safety shield, but use it wisely and truthfully.
This really hammers home the ultimate responsibility of the pilot in command, especially under pressure or when new information comes up. What if, say, your spotter urges you to fly just 5 minutes past your NAV drone-approved time because the lighting is perfect for the shot?
That's a huge test of PIC discipline and ethics. The answer has to be no. You land the aircraft within the authorized time window, period. Chasing the perfect shot is not worth violating regulations and potentially facing enforcement action. Transport Canada auditors look for exactly this kind of temptation and how PICs handle it.
Stick to the rules no matter the temptation.
Always. Another scenario, you get your NAV drone approval. Everything looks good. But moments before launch, you do one last check of NOTAMs and boom, a new TFR, temporary flight restriction, had just popped up right over your operating area, maybe for a police operation or a VIP movement.
But you have the NAV drone approval.
Doesn't matter. NOTAMs, especially TFRs, always override pre-existing authorizations. The PIC's final responsibility is to check all current restrictions right before flight. You see that TFR, you do not launch. You cancel or reschedule. NAV drone isn't always instantly updated with last-minute TFRs. The PIC is the final safety gate.
Okay, always do that last-minute check. What about something simple like forgetting to tell ATC you're done, just packing up and leaving after landing?
It might seem minor, but it's poor airmanship. You must report operation complete to ATC, either on the radio or by properly closing out your request in the NAV drone system. If you don't, they might still think you're active in their airspace.
Creates uncertainty for them.
Exactly. It can affect how they handle other traffic. It shows you didn't complete the communication loop. Always close out your operation formally.
What about tethered drones? If it's physically tied down, does it still need NAV drone approval and controlled airspace?
Yes, absolutely. It's not just about moving through controlled airspace. It's about occupying it. Even if your drone is hovering stationary at 50 feet, tethered to a building rooftop inside Class C airspace, it's still present in that controlled volume. It needs NAV drone authorization.
Good clarification. And radio readiness.
Mandatory if comms are required for the airspace.
Yeah.
If you get to your site in Class C, ready to fly, and find your VHF radio battery is dead or it's malfunctioning, you cannot fly. Period. You can't just monitor. You must have two-way communication capability if the airspace requires it. No radio, no flight in comms required airspace.
Wow. Okay, it's clear this whole world of RPAS and ATC integration has evolved incredibly quickly. Let's maybe take a quick look back at how we got here and then really peer into what the future might hold, because this is changing fast. Before, say, 2010, drones weren't really a thing for civil ATC, right?
Not really, no. Back then, civil aviation was almost entirely manned aircraft. Communication was VHF radio, using that strict ICAO phraseology. RPAS, or UAVs as they were mostly called then, were largely military, operating in restricted zones, basically invisible to civil ATC.
Then things changed.
Dramatically. We entered what some call the Wild West period, roughly 2010 to 2015. Consumer drones exploded onto the market. Suddenly you had lots of unregulated flights happening, sometimes near airports, sometimes in controlled airspace, often by people who didn't know the rules. Incidents started climbing.
That must have set off alarm bells.
It did. Navi Canada and Transport Canada realized formal integration wasn't just nice to have, it was essential for safety. Early professional drone ops started happening, but they usually needed special flight operation certificates, SFOCs. Coordination with ATC was often manual, clunky phone calls, emails. Inefficient.
A lot of one-off arrangements.
Exactly. Then came the era of regulation and formal integration, maybe 2016 to 2019. Transport Canada rolled out the comprehensive CARS Part 9X rules for RPAS. Big step.
Establishing the framework.
Right. Flying in Class C and D became formally permission-based. Navi Canada started systematically managing RPAS access. You needed an advanced certificate, radio licenses for certain ops. The rules got serious.
But the communication was still maybe catching up.
Somewhat. The real game changer for efficiency was the move to digital maturity, starting around 2019 with the launch of NAV Drone.
This system we've been talking so much about.
Yes. It transformed how requests were submitted and processed, made coordination much smoother. ATC started seeing RPAS more as legitimate, albeit different, aircraft with clear responsibilities. Training standards for RPAS pilots also got much better, emphasizing phraseology, procedures, emergency comms.
Which brings us to now, looking towards 2025, what's the current state of play?
Right now, and solidifying into 2025, the expectation is clear. Advanced RPAS operators use NAV drone for digital approval, use VHF radio for direct ATC comms and Class CD, and are held to essentially the same communication standards as manned aircraft pilots during real-time interactions.
Plus those new rules like SOR 2025-70 tightening things up in Class E?
Exactly. Further integration, closing gaps. The expectation for professionalism, for knowing the phraseology, for understanding the rules, it's high, and it mirrors manned aviation standards. The system is maturing fast.
It's been a rapid evolution indeed. So looking ahead now, what does the future hold for ATC and RPAS communications? Where is this all going?
The trajectory is definitely towards more integration, more automation, and more data sharing. Expect significant advances in AI-assisted coordination. Imagine NAV Canada using AI to help process NAV drone requests faster, maybe even granting automated approvals for routine flights based on your track record and a real-time risk assessment.
Faster, smarter approvals.
Potentially. The really big picture, though, is UTM, uncrewed traffic management.
UTM, heard that term. What is it exactly?
Think of it as the framework for a shared digital sky. A system designed to manage all types of traffic, traditional planes, helicopters, commercial drones, hobbyist drones, maybe even future autonomous air taxis, all operating safely together, especially at lower altitudes.
Wow, how would that work?
It involves things like dynamic airspace allocation, assigning temporary flight corridors digitally, live broadcasting of drone positions like ADS-B for manned aircraft, but tailored for drones, real-time digital deconfliction systems automatically identifying potential conflicts and suggesting resolutions. Your RPAS might essentially talk directly to the UTM system, exchanging flight intent and position data digitally.
So less talking on the radio, more machine-to-machine communication.
For routine operations, quite possibly. This ties into remote ID. That's the technology where drones broadcast their identification, location, altitude, and operator info in real time.
So ATC, or the UTM system, can see the drone digitally.
Precisely. Just like they see an airliner on radar today. This real-time tracking data could dramatically reduce the need for routine voice communications, position reports, altitude checks. It could all happen digitally in the background.
Meaning the goal is maybe voice-free authorization for many flights.
That seems to be the direction for standard low-risk operations. Automated digital handshakes for approval and routine tracking. Voice radio would likely be reserved for more complex situations, emergencies, non-standard requests, or operations in very busy mixed traffic zones.
So pilots will still need to know the phraseology for those times.
Absolutely. You'll always need that core skill for non-routine events. But the day-to-day might become much quieter on the frequency managed by algorithms.
What about coordinating during big events? Emergencies, wildfires?
That's where integrated interagency coordination platforms come in. Imagine a wildfire scenario. You might have ATC managing high-altitude air tankers, a fire agency coordinating firefighting helicopters and observation drones, police drones doing surveillance, all visible on one shared digital platform.
Everyone seeing the same picture, speaking the same language?
That's the vision. Unified command and control through shared digital airspace management. It's all moving towards this seamlessly integrated, digitally managed sky capable of handling way more traffic, way more diversity of traffic than today.
It sounds like science fiction, but it's actually being built now?
It is. And remember, every compliant flight you do today, every clear radio call you make, every accurate NAV drone request you submit, you're contributing data, proving the concepts, helping build that future flight manual.
The more professional we act now, the smoother the transition will be.
Exactly. The more we sound like pilots today, the more seamlessly we'll integrate into the automated systems of tomorrow, even if those systems don't primarily use voice radio.
That's a fantastic perspective. Okay, to wrap up this deep dive, let's hit some of those mind-bending, memorable, maybe even fun facts from the airwaves. You mentioned one earlier that's huge. As an RPAS operator, you're legally considered an aircraft commander.
It's profoundly important to internalize that. Transport Canada classifies the RPAS pilot in command, the PIC, with the same fundamental authority and responsibility for their operation as the captain of an airliner. When you talk to ATC, you have that level of responsibility on your shoulders. Same sky, same rules, same responsibility.
That really elevates the role. What about the phraseology itself? We touched on Roger and repeat.
Yeah, it really is like a secret aviation language, but one designed for ultimate clarity, agreed upon globally by ICAO. Wilco, will comply. Affirmative negative. Every word chosen to cut through noise and ambiguity. Thinking about the repeat versus say again history tied to artillery, it just highlights the life or death precision the system aims for.
Truly amazing. And the calm ATC voices. Not just a coincidence.
Nope, pure training. Part of CRM and human factors. That calm tone is proven to reduce errors, maintain focus, keep things clear during stressful events. So when you talk to ATC, you're joining that culture. Be the calm in the comms.
I like that. What about Canada's role? Gander ATC.
Oh, Gander Oceanic, that's legendary. Controllers in Gander, Newfoundland, manage a huge chunk of the North Atlantic airspace. Planes flying between Europe and North America check in with them, often over crackly HF radio, while they're hours over the ocean. It's a massive responsibility, showing Canada's global expertise in managing complex, vast airspace. Your local drone flight is part of that same national system.
Puts things in perspective. And you mentioned drones bringing aviation full circle.
In a way, yeah. Early flight was all visual line of sight. RPS brought back that direct visual connection for many ops, but now it's layered with incredible tech, GPS, advanced radios, automated systems. It's like combining 1912 principles with 2025 technology.
And drone ops are actually teaching ATC about the future.
They really are. The challenges and solutions being worked out right now for integrating thousands of drones safely, that's providing invaluable data and experience for managing future things like urban air mobility, those flying taxis people talk about, and other autonomous systems. Your professional interactions today are genuinely paving the way.
I heard NEV drone had a rocky start. NEV chaos.
Haha, yes. Early adopters will remember. When it first launched, there were definitely growing pains, lag, data issues, frustration. Pilots sometimes bypassed it. But credit where it's due, AMD Canada has iterated and improved it immensely. It's now considered a world-class system, a key enabler for safe integration in Canada. So if it glitches occasionally, remember how far it's come.
Good to know. And the phraseology as wizard spells.
It's a fun analogy. Each phrase holds power, unlocks coordination. Use them right, the system works beautifully. Use them wrong, you create ambiguity, maybe danger. Mastering them makes you a competent navigator of this complex system. The right words, right tone, right time keeps the sky safe.
And Canada's vast remote airspace, how is that managed?
NEVI Canada uses systems like RAAS, Remote Aerodrome Advisory Services, providing information remotely for airports without physical towers. The future likely involves more AI and automation, maybe even AI-managed clearances for routine RPAS flights in some areas, without direct human controller input. You might get cleared by the cloud.
The future is coming fast. And finally, that crucial word again, unable.
Aviation's safest word. If you, the PIC, judge an ATC instruction to be unsafe for your specific operation, you must refuse it professionally. Unable, Sky Commander RPAS, due to safety reason. It's expected, respected, and absolutely critical for upholding your ultimate responsibility as pilot in command.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what are the absolute core takeaways from this deep dive?
Number 1. Coordination with ATC in controlled airspace isn't optional. It's critical and mandatory for RPAS. 2. NEV drone is your essential digital key, but you need to use it correctly and understand its limitations. 3. Aviation communication is a precise language. Learn it, use it correctly, sound professional. 4. The pilot in command holds the ultimate responsibility for safety and compliance, always. Authorization doesn't remove your duty to follow real-time clearances or say unable if safety demands it.
Excellent summary. It really paints a clear picture of the responsibilities and the professionalism required.
It's a demanding but rewarding field to operate in.
So, here's a final thought for you, our listener, to ponder as you continue your own exploration. As our skies become inevitably more crowded and technology keeps blurring the lines between traditional aircraft and these sophisticated, remotely piloted aircraft systems, what new challenges, but also what new opportunities will emerge for air traffic control? And maybe more importantly, how might you, as an informed citizen, as a conscientious operator, play an even more significant part in shaping this dynamic, evolving future of flight?
Something definitely worth thinking about.
We certainly hope this deep dive has given you a solid foundation, some valuable insights, and perhaps sparked even more curiosity about this incredible, ever-changing world above us. Until next time, keep looking up and keep learning. That's a wrap on today's mission, Commander. See above, go beyond, get ahead. For more training, tools, and intel, head to skycommander.ca. If you learned something new, share it, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star debrief.